This video is sponsored by World of Tanks. Hey guys, new series coming soon, Rev here, and today I got something a little different. I've been reviewing cheap airsoft guns for almost 4 years now, and to the chagrin of most people, I actually use different airsoft guns outside of just UKARMS. I know, this is a huge surprise. So today, I'm going to show you all my $10,000 money pit, airsoft arsenal, and I'm going to show you these things from the oldest to newest. That includes all the different types of guns that I've owned and gear throughout the years. So let's start things off with the Azimov P90. This is my first airsoft gun I purchased more than 6 years ago, and it started its life unpainted and as an AEG. When I started using it, it wasn't the best shooting gun, as I had issues oftentimes misfiring and using those crappy magazines. I often had to use the high caps over the mid cap. Later on, I threw a paint job on it, and it looks super realistic to the Azimov. But as soon as I realized that the more I use it, the more worn the paint job got, I decided to use it more as a decoration piece than just for airsoft. There are times I want to sell it, but honestly, it has too much sentimental value to sell it. After using that crappy platform, I purchased my first competitive level platform, the Crytek CRB. This was the first airsoft gun I really went in deep with upgrades. The only thing that is stock are the external parts, but everything else is totally upgraded. I even threw this $300 Spectre MOSFET, which was super new at the time. It was a workhorse. I took this to all my milsims of events, and I took it to fields where I couldn't play with an HPA. I didn't do anything special with the external parts, but all the money went straight into the internals. The next thing I bought, which was probably my next favorite platform, was my VSR-10. Hey, I'm working here. Oh. Yes. Money? Oh, I like that. Sure. Sponsor video? Hey guys, World of Tanks here. Have you been stuck at home not playing airsoft? Do you miss the absolute enjoyment of blowing up tanks at your local field or milsim? Or are you like me, who is constantly being bullied by every tank out there? Well, not anymore. You can actually replicate this feeling of armored combat on your PC with World of Tanks, or what? Allows you to roll across open fields, climb step hills, sneak through forests, tear across deserts, pick your battles in urban industrial zones. You think you can just play with one tank? Nah, you can play with over 550 tanks, destroyers, artilleries, light, medium, heavy tanks across more than 40 battle arenas. You can even earn experience, modify and upgrade your tanks, but Rev, that's a lot of tanks. There must be some liberties taken with all these tanks. No! Historical accuracy and inspiration means authentic models and vehicles that make you actually feel like you are a tank. There are so many tanks. You just tank imagine. Earn experience, modify, upgrade your tanks, all on this free-to-play game with over 100 million players worldwide. Use the code TANKMANIA for 7 days of premium accounts, 250k credits, premium tank Excelsior Tier 5, 3 rental tanks for 10 battle each, the Tiger 131 Tier 6, Cromwell B Tier 6, and the T3485M Tier 6. And it's all available on your PC. Thank you, World of Tanks, for sponsoring, because YouTube doesn't support me at all. Wolverine Bolt. I made so many videos on this on my channel, and it was my first taste of growth that I received. It ran on this new HPA system for sniper rifles that was new at the time. Not only did it shoot extremely well, but it was ridiculously quiet. I had a lot of wires underneath and taped it where it was exposed, so I can record for longer periods of time without running out of battery. Also, my kit was dramatically lighter, and I went from running a plate carrier to a chest rig, and soon I rocked a Viper hood that I customized to the terrain that I was in. It was great, but using it so much took a toll on it, and I was having feeding issues, and sometimes I would have really bad consistency problems with shots, and so I had to retire it. I could work on it and fix it up, but I'm really not that interested in sniping as much as I was before, as there are other platforms that really outperformed it. Next, and by far the most popular airsoft gun I've ever used, and I continue to use to this date, is my Wolverine Mtw. It did everything that the VSR-10 and Crytek, but better. It was quiet, shot extremely well, and very far. Also, it was really, really light. I changed only the inner barrel, rails, and added that suppressor. Where I had issues with follow-up shots, using the MTW fixed it by just having a larger amount of volume of BBs going down range. It was my primary for ops and indoor fields, and when I ran night vision as well. Today, I still use it at events or on fields when I need to be sneaky and quiet. But what if I wanted to make a bang? I didn't care about being quiet. I wanted to blow something up with more armor, or what about a tank or vehicle? Well, that's where my next purchase was, the RPG. Yes, it doesn't look like your typical RPG, but this bazooka has been really effective at taking out tanks, transports, and even children's birthday parties. Okay, I might have to remove that. It has the ability to fire tagging shells, which could shoot chalk or explosive rounds. But it can also fire personnel rounds that shot a burst of BBs, or more like a wall of BBs. It's also been the only gun that has been banned from 2 fields. I wonder why. It's made of plastic and 3D printed parts, making it really light and easy to run with a kit. All you have to do is slide around down the front, lock it in, and press this big red button. It was made by this guy called Reaper's Den, and if you want to purchase it, I'll post a link in the description down below to where you can buy it. Next is something inspired by John Wick, the KSG. If I wanted to have fun over performance, and I just wanted to hit people with 6 BBs at a time, well, I'll use this. Like I mentioned, it shoots 6 BBs out of each of its 3 barrels, and it runs on HPA, making it very consistent with the shots. I can even dial it back or higher depending on the field or weighted BBs. I've run this at 1 or 2 events, but mostly it sees indoor use. The best part of this, it has a tracer unit inside the hop-up, so I can see the burst of BBs coming out in a dimly lit area. It's a lot of fun and probably the second most feared thing I have in my arsenal. Speaking of dimly lit areas, I also have a PVS-7. These are Gen 3 nods that I run for night games and work surprisingly well and do the job. I know there are platforms that are better, that you can spend over $5,000 or $6,000, but honestly, for Airsoft, this is just fine. I also have the ability to record at night with a Brain Exploder recording kit. The only downside to this is that even though I have 2 eyepieces, the image is still coming out of one lens in the middle of my face. So I have very poor depth perception, and it could cause for a lot of falls. This is probably the coolest thing that I've always wanted to have as a kid, and it's even great when I go camping with it as well. Next on the list is my favorite SMG, the AR-P90 from G&G. I've used this quite a bit when I need to travel, space is limited, or I can't run HPA. I haven't done anything internal to this or externally, as it shoots just fine as it is. The electric trigger unit that it came out with was a staple for its successors, and it's the one airsoft gun that I enjoy using for pickup games and sometimes night games, and all I need to do is throw a tracer unit. Speaking of G&G, the CMF-16K. This is one of those guns that I have a lot of fun to use if I just want to have a basic starting rifle. Again, similar to the AR-P90 where it has an electric trigger unit, this one shoots extremely well for under $300. And it resembles a 416, even though it's made out of polymer. If you want a really good shooting airsoft gun out of the box, you got to pick this thing up. I mean, for real, this is an amazing starter airsoft gun. What you shouldn't pick up is this next gun, the Amoeba Striker. And this is probably the most cursed and a warning to anyone just adding upgrades for the sake of adding upgrades. This is going to be very controversial because I think a lot of people like the Amoeba Striker, but unfortunately, I thought I was going to like it, but I didn't. I had this sent over to me by Amped Airsoft, and when they sent it to me, it was shooting so amazing. Those guys know how to upgrade an airsoft sniper rifle, and I do have to recommend them to anyone that wants to buy a pre-upgraded sniper rifle. However, all that changed when I started changing things up and adding a longer rail so I can record, which caused me to change the top dead center mod. But what really made me stop using this was that open bolt design. What do I mean by this? Well, in most airsoft sniper rifles like the VSR-10, the inner barrel and cylinder are all in this enclosed area. It's smart, right? But in the Amoeba, it's open. So what does that mean, right? Well, how does branches, dirt, mud, and water all filling into your inner barrel sound, making this amazing shooting sniper rifle to probably the most inconsistent sniper ever? I know this is going to piss off a lot of fans of the platform, but the VSR-10 is much better and superior. Now it's time to show off some of my real rare pepes, or things I either haven't figured out how I'm going to bring it out to the field, or things I just won't because of their construction. Starting with the EBR bronze from G&G. This one's sent over to me by them and is the coolest looking piece of metal I've ever seen, but it's also freakishly heavy. More so than the last gun I'm going to show you. Not only that, but the performance is pretty subpar for an AEG. It shoots too hot and I get a better performance in a lighter platform. Next are my wooden VSR 10 and Kar 98K. I gave one of them away at an event, but I can tell you that these two I don't like taking to the field. They both have misfeeding issues and have this special mag that not only sucks, to put it bluntly, but I hate having to take it out and gets all scratched up. If you're looking for a World War II era sniper rifle, I can see that's something you can pick up, as it's already pre-upgraded. Sweet Airsoft does an amazing job, and I definitely recommend picking that up. I'll post a link in the description down below. So I've talked about guns in the past that I've been using. Now I'm going to talk about the guns I'm planning to use in the future. Starting off with the Mtw Forged series. Yes, I bought another Mtw because one was just not enough. This one is focused on being my all-around rifle for pickup games and night games. I can run the PSI lower or higher, depending on if I want to run a tracer unit or a heavier BB. I also changed the inner barrel and configured the hop-up just right to where it feeds and fires each BB perfectly because of that Phoenix hop-up. I'm really impressed with the performance so far, but I don't know if this is going to be my daily driver, to be honest. This is probably my favorite pet project so far. I've been using rifles, SMGs, DMRs, and rocket launchers, but there's one class out there that I've never touched until now, the LMG. But I didn't want to just go with a regular NATO style LMG. No, comrade. I went with the MPO AEG RPK-16 with a Polar Star Fusion engine. This was sent over to me by Rush B Airsoft that did all the installation and upgrades. It's an amazing shooting gun with some quirks, but it's going to be one of the scariest guns I've ever owned. I'm going to be using this with my black multicam loadout, as well as some future Russian era gun loadouts as well. So watch out for that. In total, within the past 6 years of playing Airsoft, I roughly have spent $10,000 worth of guns, equipment, and gear. Most of the stuff has been sent over to me for free, but others I've had to pay. And of course, this does not include all the UKARMS guns I've bought the past 4 years. So all in all, compared to the other people's arsenals, it's pretty small. I don't like to keep a lot of airsoft guns, and most of the time I'll give away most of the guns I don't use, as I like to keep one gun for a certain loadout and a backup of it. Wow, you stayed to the end of this video? Well, here's a sneak peek of my next video that's coming out next week. Check it out. Hey guys, PhD Rev here. I'm on the field with me. I got a lab coat. With me today is, doesn't matter, 734513, and as well as my lovely lab assistant, Matt. We're gonna be launching some rocket launchers at him. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're ready. Let's go. Listen to me and be... Oh, I heard that! I heard that!
I felt that.
You felt that?
That was actually more direction than the last one.
Really?
Yeah. The last one was kind of like a spray. That one was like more like, hey.
How much of the diameter was it? A foot and a half?
So like whatever this is, I'm be honest with you right now, I don't know.
Okay, it's fine.
Whatever you shot at me, I think I got all of 90% of it.
Oh god. Oh my god. Alright, last one. I promise. Oh, totally. We promise you're gonna get your freedom, alright? Ready? And then we're gonna do a skit. You ready? All right.
Oh, come on. Come on.
What?
Don't misfire. Come on.
Don't misfire? What'd you say?
that. Ooh, I felt that.
Anyways, guys, that's it for this week's video. I really want to give a special thank you to my Patreon supporters who are helping bankroll this and other videos. I'll have a link to my Patreon in the description below. Don't forget to give this video a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe for more reviews like this one, and comment and let me know what you want to see next. I'm Reventian, and I'll see you guys next time.